Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I didn't make a video yesterday, I apologise for that. A bit of an emotional day for me. I did my last game as a society rugby referee. Decided to hang up my boots for a variety of reasons. But anyway, it means we're all here today. It's a beautiful spring day. I hope I can concentrate because I've got mother mother cat with 5 gorgeous kittens who are now growing up and open their eyes and wanting to explore, aren't you, all over the place? Yeah, say hello to the boys and girls. There you go. So we've got 3 white ones and 2 black ones, and they're just having their morning breakfast. So what I thought we'd do today is do this not logged in thing again. But I'm going to play a beginner player as a guest. So they don't know me, they don't know who I am, they don't know... Obviously, they don't know who I am anyway. So it's picking somebody that they estimate as maybe around 800, or that claims to be a beginner. So they've not just learnt the rules, okay? And we'll see what we get, and then we can go. So here we're getting a very, very standard opening, the most common opening at the beginner level, and a Scotch. Well, well, well. So I'm going to take here. I'm going to play the Steinitz, which is still working well. Okay, this is not a beginner, because I believe this is the bad motherfucker opening, right? So I can develop my knight, of course. If they bring their bishop out, this is a Scotch gambit, I think. So I'm just going to develop normally. Obviously, I can't take the knight because of this. This is no beginner, I'm sure of it. Yeah, they've just violated an opening principle, which is beginnery, but they've done it for a jolly good reason. So I'm thinking here, maybe d6, I can hit the queen. Knight e5 hits the queen. The problem is it also undefends his pawn. Bishop out here, takes. I can't take with the bishop. Yeah. Push, I take, they take. I still have to retreat. So I'm thinking maybe d6. Yeah. This is still defended by that knight. I can develop this bishop with tempo anyway. Wow. So now I have this, whoa. I have this move, I hit the queen, but I also defend there. This is good. I hit the queen, I hit the bishop, and defend f7. So now if, say, bishop takes, I don't take with the king. Bishop or knight takes, I take with this knight, and we're up a piece for a pawn. Yeah, then if they take again, I take with the king. I'm still up a piece for a pawn, and I've lost castling rights. So there they go, they have to move. Do we wipe out the bishop? If I play this, they've got f3, no dice, but good control over this square. I think we should wipe out the bishop. This is also a move, c5, maybe just tie these 3 pawns together. Am I afraid of this bishop? Well, no. This bishop-knight combo is not a scary threat, so I can actually fall back on development to a degree. And I know this isn't strictly a developing move because it doesn't really help get anything out, but it does secure this pawn on d4, which is rather a nice pawn. It's stopping this knight coming out and stuff like that. How are we doing for time? Let's play this move. Don't eat my aloe vera plant. Oi, don't climb on it. It's not for climbing. Anyway, kittens free to a good home. Okay, I can't even chat. Can't even chat because this guy is not a first timer. All right, I'm inclined to take. Then that invites the knight out into the board. If I allow them to take, I haven't got a good way to recapture. I mean, c takes is okay, but excuse me. But then I've got doubled isolated pawns on the d file. What about pushy push? What about pushy push? With tempo. Okay, the quality of the chess videos is going to drop markedly over the next couple of weeks. That was a kitten trying to get from one bit to... Get off my plant! These... Morgan, you need to take these outside, mate. They're getting on my ends. I mean, they're incredibly cute. I mean, I could sit and watch this, but then we'd be getting no videos done. Here's the black one. See, the black ones don't come across as well on camera. They know this at, you know, like rescue shelters and stuff like that. That when they take photos of black cats and dogs, not so much, but black cats aren't, for some reason, as photogenic. Okay, right, here we go. So he's just given up his knight now, and there we go. So he's got 2 pawns for it. This is not the end of the world. Okay, interesting times though. Pack it in. Okay, one attacker, one defender. Queen here is a thought. I'd like to get this, I think just this, and castle. At least I've also now got semi-open f-file. Oh, well, what, you could have done that on the previous move. Oh man. Okay, so my thought is, well defended. Defended. I think we just castle by hand. I think rook f8, king g8, and move along. So I would love to do it like a guess the ELO reveal at the end of this. I'd love to know actually, you know, what rating this person is. I'm pretty sure they're above 1,000. I'm confident of that. Let's get the king to safety. I'm thinking as now just, okay, that's a check, but is it a check with teeth? I don't think so. Just move out of the way. There's no option of bishop blocks, which would be nice because that comes with tempo as well. I'm thinking a6, b5. Start to build up a bit of a wedge here. I'm +2 right now. Why am I +2? Well, I've got 2 bishops. White's only got 1. White has an extra pawn. Which pawn is that? Well, these are all balanced. These are all balanced. White's extra pawn really is Freddie the f pawn. So I note here with interest that if I can move this knight, I've got 2 attackers on that bishop. I can move the knight here, actually. I can't take the pawn. If I take the pawn, he takes the knight, I take the bishop, he takes, I lose the piece, right? But interestingly, I can go here. If he takes me, I get the bishop for free, and I get the bishop pair. But that's kind of flashy, but there's no real point to it. I'm wondering if this pawn's going to come flying down in a minute. And I want to get this bishop out somehow. I'd love to put it there, I can't. Here and here is also not possible. So I think we just carry on with plan A, with a6, b5. This opening, by the way, oh, he's moved, is really interesting. So if you look it up on my channel, it is called The Bad Motherfucker. It's actually like a gambit with a proper name, but it's so evil. It's so evil. If black just subconsciously just wanders into normal stuff, there are some horrible traps in it. Okay, so this is defended only by the queen. I've now got bishop b7. I like that. I like it like that. Yeah, bishop b7 gets the bishop off the back rank. I'm a step closer to connecting my rooks, which is important. But more importantly, I'm lined up against this vulnerable knight, which, notice, is defended only by Gary the g-pawn. And if I take and Gary takes, that's not pretty, because then he's got 3 pawn islands, which is going to be hard to defend later on. All right, here we go. So every time something moves, you just have to scan what's changed between this and this. I mean, you know, it seems like it's a tiny move, right? But tiny moves can have big consequences. So this is very well defended. I'm thinking just bishop b7 straight away. Notice now also in fact, apologies, the queen is defending this and was defending it before. The queen is still, but the queen is now defending the knight. She wasn't defending the knight from this square. but she is defending the knight from here. However, look at this, right? Opponent has missed something. Opponent has missed that I now have double eyes on this pawn, right? So now I can capture the pawn with a fork on queen and knight. Queen must move. Now, depending on where the queen goes, if she goes to a square where she still defends the knight, or even here, then I probably won't take the knight. But if she's careless, if white is careless, and undefends the knight, okay, there we go. I take here. I'm concerned about this, that would lose a pawn. I don't want to do that. I could just lift my queen. I quite like that. Lifting my queen just gets out of this potential pin as well. And I need to shake a leg because... And it also defends his pawn a second time. So now if pawn takes, I've got A takes, AB, right? And I've just captured towards the center, whereas white is just captured away from the center. And what does that mean? Well, look at the D pawn now, right? The D pawn now has a clear path to promotion, which is super cool. Right, question. And now we've got full-on violence. We've got the three white kittens are kung fu fighting. Okay, I'm going to take with the bishop. Yeah, I think I'm playing somebody like 1100, 1200 kind of thing. Okay, but you know, I want to keep my rooks connected. This pawn's fine. I've got the bishop pair, and more importantly, I'm targeting the b2 pawn and the rook on a1 behind it. I might put... Oh my lord. Things we have to put up with. Okay, I'm thinking I like the look of queen c6 because that gives me double eyes on... Okay, the knight has now run away. Right, so I'm going to drop my bishop back. I'm going to stick my queen here, just with a cheapo checkmate threat. Right, but you know, cheapo threats have their place. They really do. Okay, right, I'm threatening mate in one. And the point is, I'm not expecting guest 7513694073, as his mother called him. I'm not expecting him to... Oh, he's put the knight back now, you see. So, you see, he moved his knight there, and because of what I did, he's had to put his knight back where it came from. And that is not ideal for him. Now, I do this, and now he's just given up the exchange, and the knight can't take the pawn, because I've mate. So now he's down a whole rook, right? I have a queen bishop battery on this diagonal. I can now actually... Oh, what about this? What about this? Rook takes. I sack the exchange back. I'm up a full rook, yeah? So if I do this... Excuse me, a bit gluey. Pawn takes, I've got queen over with check. I'm in a good position and his pawns are weak, right? I've given up the exchange, but it means I'm still up a full bishop. Yeah. Queen takes is just this, that's too much, because he simply takes to the pawn. You never assume he's going to take back with piece A. He could take back with piece B or piece C, or he could do nothing at all. This is one of the most critical things in chess, is to understand the different options that you've got in response to an attack. Now, his idea is double attack this pawn. I could actually simply defend it right now with a rook. I'm going to do that, but I'm seriously thinking about taking out this knight. If queen takes, g takes, he's then got ugly pawns, and yours truly has an extra bishop in the endgame. And the point of the middle game is to get to an endgame that's winnable, unless you can win it in the middle game. And the point of the opening is to get to a middle game that's going to get you to an endgame that's winnable, unless you can win it before. So look, triple eyes now on this knight. Oh, that was just terrible. Why is it terrible? Because he's just removed one of the defenders of the knight. I'm going to take with the queen for the simple reason I'm just going to... There's no reason... at this point to give my opponent any chance of checkmating me, right? So it's more about not losing now. Okay, now I'm up basically a bishop and a rook. So I'm leaving my bishop there. I'm going to put my bishop and my pawn in this configuration, which is very, very nice indeed. Okay, and if I can trade off rooks, so much the better. Okay, so my bishop defends the pawn, my pawn defends the bishop. They are locked, right? And what can disturb them? Okay, well, the king can't. The king can't capture either of these because it would be putting itself in check. Okay, the rook could, but it would have to give itself up. Okay, I'm just going to swap things off. I'm so far ahead in material that I just don't care. Okay, I'm going to get my rook behind this pawn, probably. He's not going to trade. Well, that's just foolish. Right, and the other thing is with my bishop there, or with a pawn there, it's preventing the king from getting through the cracks. So, yeah, and now this, so the king can come around here, but I can defend the pawn again with that if I want. Okay, and now we just finish off. We complete the job. I drop my rook back. Dropping my rook back, these pawns control these. Let's have a go at this. There may be a quicker checkmate, you see. So my rook's controlling these, my pawns are controlling these, and this rook's controlling these. So there he goes. He's only got the one square. I don't think there's no call to be fancy here. Let's get a queen. I think he's going to go to h4, but then I can come across here. He comes here. This pawn is defended. Back there. Okay. Important thing. Oh, this pawn's pinned. If I play h6 here, it's stalemate, isn't it? Because he can't move that pawn. I need to allow him to come here. So that's what we're going to do on the next turn. I'm going to let him do that. That's a good thing. Okay, now I can just give check with a pawn. I've got all the material in the world, and that's checkmate. There we go. Okay, that was a really interesting game, and very, very spicy opening. So let's now log in as properly, and we're going to we'll do a 10-minute. Do a 10-minute against a random somebody around the 1400, 1500 range, 1527, and we have the black pieces. The theme has changed. It's no longer the default theme. Okay, what are we going to do? I'm going to play knight f3. Okay, we have a filidor. d4, as though we're playing a scotch. I don't know what this is called. Haven't a clue. Haven't the foggiest, mate. Let's break the pin on the knight. Maybe I should have done this with ideas. But the thing is, the knight takes e5 check. So, sorry, I'm thinking ahead now to a potential bishop takes f7, king takes here, that pattern. Okay. Right, so he's playing kind of close to his chest. What? Excuse me. Yeah, that's got it. Right, he's added a second defender to this pawn, yeah? Takes, takes, I take, pawn takes, with tension here. This is not bad. I could also push the pawn, but that doesn't have the advantage of preventing his knight coming out. Also, it just puts itself in line of fire of c6. This... Okay, let's castle the king and think later. I'm not loving black's position. One upside of d5 is it locks in the pawn on d6, which is in the way of this dark squared bishop, which is in the way of the king castling, which is in the way of getting the rook out. So there's a lot of things in the way. Okay, opponent is clearly a conservative player, it seems. Okay, I'm just going to bring my bishop out, just for now. If he takes here, I can take with the bishop and target this, which locks that bishop to g7. And shall we pour a coffee? There we are. No rush here. No rush at all. Okay, out comes the knight. Okay, that's now in the way of this pawn, but that's okay. That's not his intention. He's got to stick his bishop there and he's got a castle. Okay, so he's somewhat cramped behind his own lines. I am going to push d5. I'm going to follow it up with c4 so I can recapture a c-pawn break with my own c-pawn. Ah, I hung a pawn. Right, so what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and turn this into our advantage if we can. See, his king's still in the middle at least, yeah? Oh, that's annoying. I simply didn't look at what changed with that move. I was more interested in thinking about other areas of the board. You have to look at the entire board. And this is the difference. We're now playing a 1500 instead of like an 1100. Maybe I could have got the PGN from that game. I don't know if it would have given it to me, but there's no reason why it shouldn't. I mean, we've just played the game. It's my game. And guessed whatever his name was. Okay, so here. I had a loose pawn. It's also a central pawn. Yeah, e-pawn's an important pawn. But I still don't think I'm bad. If I can trade off this knight, happy days. I've completed development and black simply hasn't. And he's still got a problem, dark squared bishop. Okay, he wants to replace his knight with a spare knight. Okay. Okay, I'm going to play this. If he moves his knight, now my knight's in the line of fire, but obviously I'm threatening f3 with a pawn fork. So you always know if you meet a Philidor player that you're going to get a positional nitty-gritty arm wrestle. Okay. He's swapped bishops. Interesting. Oh! Excellent. No, that was just... See, he's outplayed me. He's outplayed me, right? No, he hasn't. Forget it. I thought that this knight hung. It doesn't. Okay. Knight could come here, could come back here, could also come here if needed. Right. So we have ourselves a spice situation. If I move this bishop, I've now got two eyes on that knight. Worth mentioning. However, the bishop cannot proceed to any of these squares. So what I'm thinking about... Oh, man. Well, he's just took that out, but what about this? What about this? Now it does... Oh, he's on it. He's on the ball today, though, isn't he? This fella. He's on the ball. Now then. The issue, though. Okay, he's up 2 pawns. The flip side of this, I mean, can you make a silver lining, right? I have semi-open e-file and d-file. I have no pawns in the way. An opponent's king is still in the middle of the board. This is a thought coming around. I don't think I want to give up this bishop, because at the moment he's in a position to trade bishops. Having said that, it ain't the strongest piece in the world, so rook ad1, hit the knight, might just encourage this. 2 pawns down. So you saw that tactic here, right? This is the tactic. Okay, and I didn't figure it out because I'm half asleep. Okay, so I'm awake enough to beat player number 1, but not player number 2. What the hell? Okay, right, resignable. Resignable, simply. That's the difference between a 1500 and whatever. Let's do another one, right? And also, I just played an opening that I don't know. 1497. Right, it's pissed me off, that's all. Okay, we have Sicilian now. I'm thinking I'm going to go and learn the Smith-Morra, but I haven't learned it yet, so... What? Okay. So this is all queenside versus kingside. Here we all going to the king's side. All right, now. Okay, you should always be paying attention to what your opponent's doing. Okay, now the problem is with this like Grand Prix attack, or British version, right, with the bishop here, Black hasn't yet declared his hand about where he's going to castle, but I don't think he's going to go that way. So I might proceed with plan A. And I can't, well, I could put my queen here. But I think this, I'm locking this bishop down for the moment. What he wants to do is castle. I actually want him to castle though. And this move has kind of slowed him down from castling, because now he can't move his bishop away. All right, now we're going to encourage him to fianchetto and then castle. This is actually good. I'm happy about that. It's fine. Okay, so let's bring in bishop here, so it's not blocked in by knight b d2. I'm probably going to push c3 as well, which is an advantage of... Who's licking my... Oh god, I've got an infestation of kittens. Okay, so knight b d2 now. And I'm preparing... I can push c3 at any time. There's no need to do that whatsoever, because his queen's knight's gone over in that direction, not here. So there's no threat of coming here, so I don't need to play c3. Also, he hasn't actually fianchettoed the bishop. He's done this kind of French defense thing of spinning the knight round and flipping it onto g6 and then bishop e7. So what does this mean? Because depending on where the bishop goes in the Grand Prix, you have different attacking ideas. If the bishop fianchettos, which is common, you attack via h6 with your queen like here. And you want the fianchettoed bishop, you take, king takes, knight comes in, and you're threatening checkmate. If that makes sense. The question is it time for f5? F5 is the signal to unleash hell. But I can't actually think of another move. Can I find an improving move? Let's push c3 just for the hell of it. So I'm at 15.25 now. I lost 8 points on that previous one. I get better results when I'm not commentating on my play, because I get excited about one particular thing and start to explain it and then miss everything else. Okay, interesting. So out comes the DSB. I can take him out. He can recapture with queen or with knight. This knight is expendable because I have a spare. My concern is the bloody queen going to come flying out? Because what we do not want is a trade of queens. I like my queen. I don't like this bishop, by the way. It's not fantastic. It is pointing down the right area of the board, but I don't know. There's a lot of traffic in the way right now. Could just push up. Let's push up and see what his plan is. Still threatening to take out that bishop, but it's not a bad idea. Having said that, all the pawns are still on the board. Okay, now f5. I really want him to castle. Is that a move? He's got 3 attackers, 2 defenders. f5 and takes is good. It is good. Again, his king's still in the middle of the board. Now, I lost the last game because of tactical oversights. Okay, now he's playing this idea as well. Okay, so let's just call his bluff and drop this back. You want to take my knight? I've got a spare. We've both got paired knights, and paired knights has its benefits, right? One of the drawbacks of paired knights is that although, right, like this knight in the center of the board, not so much, these two guys not so much, okay? But then these two knights, because they're in this square here, this 4x4, they are looking at their maximum of eight squares on the board. The problem is that one of the squares they're looking at is their own friend, is their wingman. If I take, he's going to take back with the bish, isn't it? So what about this? I think we bust through in the center. General principle, your opponent's king is uncastled, you punch through the center. Basically, it's like, where's your opponent's king? Attack that bit. Right, so we have knight takes knight. My knight is actually the only defender of this. I've seen that, so I'm going to take that with the bishop. Then we've got ideas of this. Now, then he's got okay, right. See, so the threat was here, push. This is a double attack, so it's a discovered attack plus the piece that's moved to reveal. The other attack is also attacking, double attack. Very powerful. Opponent has spotted it, of course. And here we face ourselves. We have a fork in the road, all right? Now, D5 locks the D&E files. That does really blunt this light squared bishop and really makes life hard for this bishop as well. How good are my bishops? My bishops aren't that bad. So locking off the center is like when an MMA fight goes to the floor. Do you know what I mean? It's like it gets close and dirty. There's no more high kicking at that point. Not that I'm a big MMA watcher. But this just allows him to centralize his knight, which really, I'm going to lock it then. I'm going to lock off the center. I could also have taken here. That would also be an idea. I didn't consider that enough. I did see it. With the idea of simply opening up the center. I take here, pawn takes. Anyway, so now he's attacking. So because the center is now closed, which I think is, in retrospect now, is a mistake by me. Right? Opponent's king is in the center. Don't close the effing center. Okay. Bishop drop back. Attack loose pawn. Oh yeah, I think that was an error. Just on principle, it was an error. But still, he's not castled. This is the key thing, precious. And also, note if he castles here, I have bishop h6. I'm attacking this. Now, it is defended by the bishop. So bishop on this square is a defensive piece. Just like a knight is, but knight defends h7, whereas the bishop defends g7. So now he's got a bishop here. He can't put a knight there as well, because that's not allowed in chess. You're only allowed one piece on each square. And, oh. Now, okay, I'm just having a think about sacking my bishop off for 2 pawns. Because the thing is now, I've got a load of light square pawns in the way. He's now put a couple of pawns on light squares here. I could stick the bishop up there. You can stick your light squared bishop up your ass. Don't do this at home, children. Light square bishops belong on the chessboard. Here. Takes away, takes towards. This is not bad. Does weaken this pawn. Oh, I've got 3 minutes left. Best make a move, get a move on. So I'm attacking this pawn twice. Anyway. My knight could even come here or whatever. Right, I'm going to have to play fast and loose a little bit now. My bishop has scope, but this knight is actually covering those dark squares. My opponent still isn't castled. Okay. No, I've got 3 attackers. 1, 2, 3. He's got 2 defenders. The pawn is mine. You take, I take. It does actually pin the knight because this pawn behind it is undefended, but all I need to do is simply move my bishop. I might improve this rook or this rook. Okay, I'm going to take the bishop. So I've just won a pawn. How's about that? Okay, this pins the knight, but I need to move this bishop first to defend that. So what are we going to do? Drop the bishop back here. I'm now defending this pawn, which frees up this bishop, which means I can... Okay, now finally he's castled. Okay, finally he's castled, as Naroditsky would say, because he likes to say things twice. He likes to say things twice. All right. I'm just going to drop him back. Notice. Excuse me, sorry guys. It's like glue. You know when you get the end of a bit of a detox cold. What's your game? Okay, its game is this. Right, this pawn now is undefended. No, it's not. It's defended once by the queen. I could play rook here. That's not a bad idea. My other option was simply to push the pawn out of trouble, which takes it out the knight's range. And would mean it's defended by the bishop. This bishop is still blunted, right, with this central blockage. Okay, defended. This knight is not defended. This is a thought, you know. And then you say, well, okay, if do this, where can he go? Well, he can go there, actually. He can't take the pawn, that's out. So if this, he can go back there. He can go back there, he can go back there. And then I would probably at that point say, okay, well, we can park that idea for now and move on. Another thing I'm thinking about is like bishop b3, bishop h6, because this pawn's pinned. But I'm not really threatening to take because bishop takes. Unless maybe I can get my pawn up to here to lurk. Oh! Okay, well, he can't capture here. But I'm very much tempted to play h4 now. h4, if bishop takes, I can take with the queen. Takes, takes. I think he's flinched there. I really do. I've also got this. He might play king h8. If he does, I just need to get the bishop the hell out of there because it's then the pawn is no longer pinned. I'm not... What am I... Oh, he's pushed it again. You've pushed it again. Right, the pawn is still pinned though. Right, these are all pinned squares. So again, he cannot take here because he puts himself in check. Right, I'm gonna take... I need to bust open a hole here. Okay. Okay. Bishop here to defend the knight. The bishop was targeting my knight and my rook. Not having that. The bishop's also pinned. Cannot take. Right? So now I can threaten knight f3. And that's 1, 2, 3 attackers on a pinned piece. Right, he's taken himself a pawn. Whatever. Why was he able to... Oh, no! No! Do you see how quickly I just dismissed my opponent's move there? I should have taken him out. I should have taken out the knight. I just dismissed it. And that's how you lose games. And the higher you get... Oh, mate. What did you do, Hunty? Look at this pattern. There are no words in the languages of elves and men, the tongues of elves and men, for a curse. Oh, mate, that's just fantastic. Right. Sod it, let's do another one. Again beaten. I think we were doing well there. We were doing well. Okay, we have a d4 now. Somebody requested, please play the Leningrad against the London. Please play the London. Okay. So I did a video the other day saying that the Leningrad Dutch is a very good weapon against the London system because d4 players aren't that familiar with playing the Dutch at this level. I'm going to pull up the Lichess Explorer here. Okay, he's pulled the knight out. Well, it doesn't matter, we'll do this. Okay, Lichess Explorer, flip at the border. So this is around my level, yeah, d4. How often do they face f5? 2.3%. Right, that's one game in 40 already. Already. The Dutch is rare. This is the point. So for your London player... Okay, well this is not... Okay, I'm not sure about this move actually. Because it's in the way of pushing the c-pawn. So I'm just going to proceed. Opponent is William Wang from Canada. Hello, William. He's just under 1500. I'm just over because I've been playing like a complete arsehead. Okay, we just proceed. This is nice. Okay, opponent seems to be declaring that he wishes to... Okay, no, he's not. He's attacking the fianchetto bishop. This is okay. I can attack it here. Takes. Puts pressure on this. Queen's defended. Okay, I'm just going to probably proceed in fianchetto here. So again, I missed my opponent's intention there. And this is like a normal thing that you do against the King's Indian defence, the modern defence and stuff like that. You try and remove that important defensive bishop. Now, but this is not the exact same situation as those. So I'm not too fussed, because normally this bishop just sits there and lingers and is not often attacked. So I don't really know how white intends to use his queen to attack me now. Right, he's only got a light squared bishop left, and he's got these two knights. Okay, so what's the idea? What's the idea? Okay, do I fianchetto this bishop? He's not going to do this. I mean, I could play like double Dutch style. So the classical Dutch is e6. The Leningrad Dutch is g6. And you've also got the Stonewall. Is that d5? Can't remember. Well, this is like kind of double Dutch. It's in the way of my bishop, but my bishop's got this. That's the point. Yeah, Walter, what's your point? Here's the point, dude. I'm confused. h6. Oh! h6 and e... Ooh, ouch. Right. Okay, queen e8 then, to defend this, and then h6 kicks the queen away, eh? You can't take here, because I've got e takes. This pawn is pinned. Okay, appreciate that. Me. See, playing chess and talking at the same time is difficult. It's called multitasking. Not to be recommended. It's very hard work. Okay, improve queen. Not sure about that. Or just take with pawn. Let's take with pawn. Gives me, yeah, still got a pawn in the centre. I'd like to push up here, get my knight out somehow, centralise my rook. The quicker I can centralise my rook and prevent long castles, I'll be happy. This is still playable, actually. Oh no, he's targeting a loose pawn here. Okay, let's centralise the pawn. Let's improve that. I still have this idea. Defended by my bishop. See my lovely fianchettoed bishop. Fianchetto. Always got to watch out for the fact that this pawn is not defending this pawn. But that's why I've put the pawn on e6, so it is defended. What? Still got a fantasy of pushing this pawn right up into the centre. I'd love to prevent him from castling, but that bishop move doesn't do it. This knight... That, okay, yeah. So what I think I haven't done properly on the previous two games, where I've sucked, is the sanity check idea. Too busy doing this, and not busy enough going, before I drop the piece, what can my opponent do? And when I play better, my rating goes up. I've just got that extra half a second to 1 second where I go, oh no, or yes, you know? Makes a massive difference to my performance. So I'm threatening this and I'm threatening the c2. Okay, he pins. I kick. Again, notice the theme here. Opponent's king is in the centre. Now that doesn't prevent me from losing on tactics. Okay, so there we go. I could have taken there with the queen as well. Morgan, come here. Okay, so he castles. castles. This pawn is undefended, this pawn is undefended. This knight is a bit offside right now. So I'm okay with the situation in general, from a positional point of view. This pawn is backwards. I think it's just time to improve this pawn. However, sticking it there is going to put it right in the bishop's way. But this is... Oh! What did I just tell you? What were we just talking about? And it comes with check. Stop it. Right? Okay, I'm playing the kitten card. She's annoying me. They're annoying me. William Wang is not my best friend. Get away. You're in everyone's way. Oh, man. And I literally... Did I not just say, this does not prevent me from losing our tactics, but then my opponent hangs a knight. This is defended. This is not defended. Queen here, rook here. Actually, rook here. The queen is skewered and has to move. But then I have like bishop takes, threatening the rook, threatening also to come away with a discovered check, and maybe winning a rook. So rook g8 looks real good. Looks real good. They kicked ass there, boy. They whipped your ass real good. Name the film. Excellent film. We didn't lose Vietnam. It was a tie. Oh no, it's Ken coming to kill me. How are you gonna catch me, Ken? You'll know it by now if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, you'll be sitting there going, what is he on about? He's a nutter. The bloke's a nutter. Well. Morgan, piss off. Take all your 6 tits and do one. I haven't got anything to drink. Piss off. Trying to talk to the boys and girls, and I'm trying to win one game of chess so I don't look like a complete patzer. Okay, right, he's blocked my bishop. I'm going to play this move anyway because it's just a good idea to put a rook in the way in line with the opponent's king. I do have 3 eyes on this pawn, so that pawn's mine. Okay, I can't do that right now, but I can with the knight because we're all happy. Now, knight takes, bishop takes, and it's... You are kidding me. Well, that hardly supports your cause, does it? I mean, this bishop can still do this. The rook is actually technically pinned now, so let's put that in blue. Frozen, you are out of the game. Okay? Okay. This doesn't work because he can take with the rook. I guess I can just grab this pawn on the way by. Also this. Hang on. Let's think of this through. Okay, 6 minutes 24. Hold this thought. And everything's going off around me. Kitten, shitten, whatever. Now, this simply threatens checkity mate. So he's got this, which also hits my bishop. See what I have to put up with here. Now, something like this, I propose to trade queens, right? Here. So I think queen here, he just lifts, and that actually causes me a headache. There's lots of options here. Queen here even, right? So what you have to do is say, well, what about this? Well, I take, he takes, wherever my queen is, or my rook can block, okay? So I think I'm just... Oh, he's also threatening that. So what about this one? Here, takes... Oh, that's probably better, if anything. Because I'm defending this pawn that's attacked by the queen. I'm a piece and a pawn up. I don't actually have a full passer because both of these pawns can... Okay. Right, I'm getting the queens off the board. without a second thought. Off go the queens. Defended. Don't have to stress. This is a threat. I can get this moving. Now he still might just do that when I have to do this. Okay, this is fine. Morgan, go away. This is important. It's chess. Very important. Grown up stuff. Okay, I'm going to push here. My pawns are a little vulnerable. All of these are actually hanging. I might just push the A pawn up to A4 if I can. This bishop could still make a right nuisance of itself. Or this actually defends the pawn, attacks the rook. There's a bloody thought. And I could defend it with maybe this? Don't know. Here, if the rook goes here, I can't because he's got two attackers. Okay, now I'm going to just throw this in. This is not a problem because I can block it. Okay. Okay, now. I'm worried about this, maybe. Am I? Let's throw this one in. Can do this, but that hangs that pawn. He's down to 2 minutes 45. Okay, this pawn is pinned. Okay, if he takes, I'll just recapture the bishop. Okay, yeah? Let's threaten this and also X-ray defend this pawn. Got to remember this tactic, the X-ray defense. You can do it with bishops, rooks, queens. Still got to be really careful of this king moving out of the way. In which case I'll just have to... Okay, this is okay. Undefended, defended. And the problem is my pawns are on dark squares. It'd be nice to be able to forget about this pawn. So maybe rook e6 or rook e7 to defend this. 2 minutes 12. Okay, he attacks pawn. I'm going to play this one, and the reason is it stops him from taking there because this rook is not hanging. Rook e7 would have been hanging because it's not defended by the bishop. Well spotted, Hunty. Thank you very much. I was quite proud of that one myself. Okay, I'm just trying to get out of any checkmate. Checks. That's what they're called, checks. Okay, I attack you here. I still defend this. Undefended, technically. Okay, he defends. Let us... Do I want to come this way? No. Okay, relatively happy. Idea, king g7, hit the rook. Rooks are vulnerable to being attacked by kings on the diagonals. They are not, of course, vulnerable to being attacked by kings face on, because the king can't put itself in check. This is a thought. Okay, he attacks that pawn once, it's thrown a check. He's going to come here, I think. Oh, yeah, because the rotten bishop's not defended. Okay, we drop the bishop, hang on, here. This'll do. This is an issue. No, it's not. I thought that was my king. Wasn't even looking. And that, my friends, is a king fork. If I can get out of it. 1 minute 11. Soon these kittens will all have new homes and normal chess service will resume. Okay, I'm just preventing this check. Okay, I'm not bothered. I don't think there's any checkmate issues going off here. Don't think there is. I'm threatening to take this, I'm threatening to take this. You can't do this because I take you, so again you see that the vulnerability of the rook. You see a problem with your rook. You're attacking with your rook. Okay, he's on 57 seconds. I've got 3 minutes, so we have time. We have a luxury. Luxury. Okay, I can move this rook, but it hangs this pawn. I have this as well. Let's do that and just defend this pawn. Double defend the pawn. Also gives him a check. So giving your opponent problems is somewhat underrated. Do I take this pawn and hit this rook? He comes here. I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to just... Ideas of just disappearing behind the rook. Yeah, I don't want any of this shenanigans, yeah? We don't need this. We don't need the complication. And he's just going to throw in pointless checks for no reason whatsoever. You don't do that again. You can't go there, you can't go there. Where's your checks, mate? Where's your checks, bluff? Bluff? Bruv. Okay. I challenge your rook. Okay, now this is just 35 seconds, no increment. And now I challenge this rook. So I'm just creating problem after problem. And the issue is that because he's down in material, he just can't really afford to trade. And he's right down on the clock. So now I attack this pawn. And now he's going to do this. He hasn't got that check. There's a check. Let's come here. Fine. No, we're not going to have repetition. Absolutely not. Now we have tension. You've got to do something now. And you've traded off a rook. So now what have you got to play with? Playing with your own rook. Can't go there. You attack my bishop. I get it. I take your pawn. And William Wang is going down. Skewer the... No, I thought the pawn was in the way. Okay, 0 seconds. Doesn't matter. Inconsequential. Okay. Was that good? I don't know. Was that a good demonstration of the Leningrad against the London? No, because my opponent didn't play it. So I got a feeling I'm playing 1300 level. 80 and 84? Huh! 1600 by William, 1800 by me. And here you can see there was clearly a couple of blunders. This was a blunder by me. And because of just dropping that pawn, yeah? But then, opponent does this. And dropped his knight. And that was really just the end. That was just really the critical moment. And you can see how quickly games can just spin like that on a dime. We saw it in the middle two ones as well. You get a bit of an advantage, you get carried away, you start to think this game can now win itself. Well, it doesn't happen. You know, William was doing okay at this point. He's +2 for white, and he just took his eye off the ball for a second. And that is really one of the big differences between 1000 and 1500. You just do it more at 1000, and that's it. So hope that was interesting, informative, educational and entertaining for you all out there. Please subscribe to Chess Bootcamp if you haven't subscribed. I'll see you soon.